What's up, you guys? It's Isaac. Welcome back to Big Bike BMX. This one's super fun and it was a huge surprise for me. I randomly got a Torker from Bill at Supercross. Supercross owns Torker. They're the ones that are making it. So this is me unboxing, building, and first ride and impressions of the Torker Freestylist. This is a 29-inch freestyle frame from back in the 80s when they made this. This was the original, like the Flatland. It's a freestyle bike. They sponsor Martin Aprio, so you can see a lot of the design influences in this frame. It's super cool. It's super fun to hear the history of it. I was just like oogling them at Dirty Fest because there was a frame up there. I was looking at the front gusset and the way the front end it's welded. There's just a lot of room to put your foot there for a foot jam tail whip. So, because right now it's really hard with big bikes, just the way they have to be built to be strong enough to do a tail whip. You kind of have to turn into it and then put your foot in after you've already kind of committed. It's a little weird, but this solves that. I'm super stoked to ride it. I haven't figured out the front brake yet, but I have talked to my friend Sean over at Flat Society here in Gilbert, and I think he's got a front 990 brake that I can put on this bike and then go. And if not, I can just have one from Average Joe's, have them order me one. So, super stoked. What you're about to see is me unboxing this bike, uh, just kind of looking at it, just going over to Average Joe's the following day to have most of it built up. We had a ride out last weekend, so I wanted to get the bike built so I could ride it. So Sean over at Average Joe's got it all hooked up. I was super stoked. Had a great ride. The bike, it's phenomenal. It's super, super balanced. I believe the back end is even shorter than the AMX 250 29 that I've been riding. So it's even more slammed. So it pops, the wheelies pop right up. It's super easy to wheelie. So it's super fun bike. So here you go. Check this out. My guy. I'm excited to unbox this guy. Super stoked, bro.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Big Bike BMX. I'm kind of tripping right now because I got a shipping notification from Bill at Supercross saying like, hey, you getting some bands. This just dropped off at my door. No idea what it is. Let's take a look, shall we? All right, so here's the box. Super stoked. Torker Freestylist 29-inch frame and fork. It's a freestyle, so that's rad, dude. You guys, Flatland finally. So stoked. 29-inch Torker Freestylist frame, order 000 or 001, one of the first 25. That just means that's like the first edition. So you got one of these, you got the box, congrats. It is not order 0. I didn't get order 01. It just means this is the first wave that Torker ordered. So trying to help people understand that. Because I know my buddy, Lars, has #1 of this. He already unboxed his. So let's take a look and see what is in here, shall we? Torker. Supercross sticker. Kind of stoked on that. See what all is in here. I'll get it up on the frame. So, actually, let's take a look together. So, paper. Parker, you did a good job, buddy. Oh, so stoked right now. I'm gonna pull it out with one. I can't pull it out. Let me put you down for a second. I'm gonna pull this out with one hand. Here's the fork with the 990 tabs. I'm super psyched about this. Torker. And it has the 990 tabs. I'll probably, man, I don't know if I'm gonna ride a Supercross fork or this one. Hey, Curb Jumper Dave's here, you guys. I don't know if he wants to be on video, but he just walked up. So here's the fork, Dave. Freestylist 29-inch fork with the 990 posts. So there you go, guys. 990s, super dope dropouts, threadless, Torker on top. All right, you can talk all you want though. Don't worry about it. Like, all right, guys, I'm gonna pull the foam off of the down tube first. There's a lot of cool noodling going on here. It's rad. There you go. Let's see, 290019 is the serial number. There you go. Torker Freestylist TF 9 for 290019. That's the one. Disc brakes. I'm psyched, you guys. Euro bottom bracket. It's got the rear gusset there. It's got the unique head tube up here. And what's fun is this was designed by Martin Aparicio before he joined GT. So if you imagine this bar, instead of being welded, bending and going down, you can see the original origins of the GT Freestyler. They were trying to get, when you turn the forks around, they were trying to get space up here so the brake didn't hit. So on the Freestylist, right before Torker originally went out of business and bankrupt, this is where, that's how they solved it. GT, when they signed him, they just made a bent tube. So there you go. Torker head tube. One of those welds. I'll take it out in the sun in a minute and you guys can take a look. But it has the unique wishbone all the way down, and then it opens up back towards the back, and it's thinner up at the top. Cable guides going back to the disc brake. Love it. Let's get into it. So here we are figuring out my stem cap. Got all the boys. We got Sean, Miles. So what's going on here, you guys, is this compression bolt is 100 years old. Got it from Australia. Super stoked.
Old as Isaac.
Old as me, but it's recessed, so it'll go down in there. Go down in there. So we just have to, we're figuring out size. Do we want to cut the fork? Do we want to? We're gonna raise this up because I do eventually maybe want to have a gyro. So Sean's getting a headache.
Thinking. Scary things.
All right, you guys, we are here at Average Joe's. I've got Sean. We are looking at the Torker Freestylist. This is a 29-inch. So I dry fitted it with a bunch of stuff. I've got the wheel off. We're putting on some new hydraulic brakes, and so those are hanging out there. I'm gonna put a 990 on the front. Sean's already pulled some parts for that. We've got the, I have switched it to the Carrera RS seat, and we're gonna throw a new bottom bracket on. So here we go, Salt Plus 990s. That's what we could find in a bind when I call and say, you got 990s? He's like, I do. So that's
Gotta have 990s.
And then we're gonna do a profile or a
Theory
bottom bracket, a red one. Got some Evil Alloy valve stem caps, parts for the brakes. This is the old seat. This we already figured out because I had this up here. So I came in and we actually dropped 5 mil, and then this is recessed inside here, so the fork actually went up. So it was about that high before. So Sean came in,
high.
figured that out. And the cool thing about this is that it's an old Supercross compression bolt for the stem, made for the Potts mod, and it perfectly is going to work for the 990 tabs here. And I just got this from Shane from BMX Ultra in Australia. Super stoked. All right, Sean, what other things can you bottom bracket? We'll just have Sean walk through when he's doing it, give me any tips and tricks, and you can learn along. So
Absolutely.
Let's go, Average Joes. All right, Sean's going to show me his bottom bracket trick to make sure that this fits, and I need to learn this.
So basically checking this spacer, they come in a bunch of different lengths depending on the width of your bottom bracket shell. Easiest way to check this is basically hold it up to that bearing, put that bearing on it, and what I do is I hold it to the bottom, and you can see where when you screw it in with a lip that bottoms out on it, it's a tight fit. So then we know we have the right one. Sometimes they're too short, sometimes they're too long. But this, rather than screwing it in, taking it apart, screwing it in, taking it apart, it's just the quickest way. Little
Smart,
trick.
smart. That's way better than what I do, which is just put this in, compress it, and make sure it still spins.
Run it.
Yeah. And then just ride your bike. So
I mean, you know.
that's a cool trick though. I like that because he was explaining before my camera died, but profile, like any of the profile cranks that don't use these pinch, they're held on by compressing the outside.
Which you have to have super tight.
Right, to keep it on. This will sit in here, so when you tighten the outside, it presses against this, and it doesn't press into the bearings, making your cranks not work. Exactly. Or your bottom bracket. Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
Cool tip.
Always grease. Always.
If it has threads, grease it.
Yes.
Fair.
It'll make your life easier if you ever need to replace it. Because basically, most bottom brackets, are, especially Euro ones, are aluminum. Whereas this is chromoly, so a lot of the times when you mix metals, they like to kind of weld themselves together.
True story.
Or seize.
Remind me to tell you about the aluminum body on a H1 Hummer.
Ooh.
And the top, when you see a wagon, like the Hummer wagon.
Oh yeah.
That's steel. So steel, they put that down and it sits on the aluminum back part of the Hummer.
Yeah.
And every old Hummer has that corrosion along the outside.
Yeah.
All of them.
The oxidization.
Yeah, because they're all metal on metal, two competing metal
Yeah.
types, they corrode. All right, next up, bottom bracket. Do you prefer which side you put in first?
I usually go drive.
Which,
I mean,
here's my other question, dude. These are not the same size. Which side goes left, which side goes right?
It depends on the manufacturer. A lot of the times, I believe, if I remember correctly, because also if you look at the flanges, this one has a line.
Left
that
side.
one does not.
Yeah.
No.
No?
So lines on pedals, left side. Lines on bottom brackets, right side.
Fair. So the bigger one goes on the right side.
Well, they are the same size.
The threads, though. The threads are longer on one. Look.
Correct.
So the longer threads go on the drive side.
But not all of them are longer. A lot of them are equal.
Okay.
But the theory ones are longer because obviously drive side
Gets more torque.
Yep.
Right. Did you just get that the first? I hate you so much right now.
Nailed it.
Dude. Man.
It's like your seat earlier. All I did was look at it.
First time, dude. That's the worst. It's good when it happens to you. It's bad when the mechanic doesn't.
Did you just get that?
There we go.
Come on.
I was going to change my chain But because Arizona's a copper state, I run this chain on everything now.
And what I like to do, I like to put this here. So hold this spacer in there.
So it's in the right spot.
Yep. That way it's centered.
When you're threading.
When you thread this in. And then obviously we're going to pull this out because it's not on the right side. But
it's a
or if you don't have your crank arm on it, you can slide it in there. Hmm?
Actually, how greasy is this? That's not bad. Never mind.
What?
I thought it was going to degrease my sprocket.
Oh, we're going to wipe it off.
It's not bad. I thought it had more grime.
Okay, it looks clean from the back side too.
Bougie. Swanky.
Well, yeah. So, with that being said, it may have looked like I just did the same thing, but I did not. Take the fatter one off, put the thinner one on there, because basically what I'm checking is to make sure that this distance, basically between the inside of the crank to the chainstay, is the same.
Cool. And the finger method is the most scientific way to do that?
I mean, I found it works decently. It'll get you close, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, you can bust out a ruler and go millimeters if you would like, but
close enough.
It'll get you, see, as you can see, it's pretty.
Yep.
That distance now to that distance, we're pretty even.
Cool.
That red bottom bracket looks a lot better on there.
Dude, it really does.
It looks
yeah.
way better.
All right. Bottom bracket done. Cranks installed. Bang. Good job, Sean.
Thank you, sir. Where, Ooh, look at you. I feel proud right now.
How slammed it is?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll be honest, man. I had to put these tires on. These are 700C tires because the 2.3s were actually hitting
Too
right
tall.
now. It's too tall.
I'm very proud of you right now.
You're welcome.
Because instead of sliding it back, you put smaller tires on.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I would have done.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we could probably take a link out and slam it even farther, but I'm good with that.
I mean, I don't know. We're pretty far. You're about where I would put it because we're
Yeah.
about to get it off, like if you get a flat kind of thing.
Yeah. You get a flat, you're just new bike.
I've been there too, to where
Yeah.
you got to break your chain in order to try and just get your wheel off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go back to my finger thing again.
For left and right?
Just to make sure it's like basically there's two ways I check like basically if your tire's straight and centered. Like I was saying with the end of these in here, then I do the same thing. I usually use my middle fingers and throw them in the inside on the same spot. And you'll feel pressure and you'll feel the difference in it. The other thing too is that standing behind it, look down this, like basically the center of your tire and make sure the center of your tire is lined up with the slit in the frame, basically the relief, which right now we are not there. But we will be. 1 second. And now we're there. And then hopefully you should, now it feels the same.
All right, so now we're at the point where we're putting on my disc brake. I got a new disc brake because I was just using the Amazon one. And poor Sean tells me don't press a lever, and all I want to do right now is just touch that. But what's the secret tip for disc brakes, bro? Is there anything?
Do it right.
Do it right.
No, basically the biggest thing you want to check, especially with a lot of these spacing wise, you want to make sure that like what I usually do is I'll mount everything and leave these basically somewhat loose. But you want your rotor to make sure that you're getting a full bite of your pads. 'Cause I see a lot of people put some spacers down here to raise this up a little bit so that it makes it easier to where like you can actually pull your wheel off without having to remove this. It creates a groove in your pads and you burn through pads because you're not getting the full bite.
Yeah.
Your brakes also won't work as well because you're not getting the full surface to surface of the pad and the rotor.
Right.
So basically as high as you can. I mean, I know it's a pain in the ass to change a flat or remove your wheel or anything like that, but it's the right way and your brakes work a lot better, especially as far as wheelies go.
I trust my brakes.
You'll feel a lot better and more confident in it. But just as close as possible.
Seeking the songs of my people, Sean. Star Wars Day. You guys, it's May the 4th.
Where's
today.
your helmet? I'm surprised you didn't show up in your Star Wars helmet.
I know.
Like this is where's that video too?
I know.
Like 5
Miles
bro,
pops up.
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. Every year.
I'll bring one
Today.
I'll bring one today. We'll do it tonight.
Like
I'll film the Stormtrooper.
it's like
wheelie.
tradition.
It is. It is.
Like
I'll film the Stormtrooper wheelie tonight.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta do your story. Yeah,
See?
totally.
Yeah. I expected to wake up and already see it this morning.
Yeah, no, that is that's super tired.
You're the one that texted the other day saying we should dress up.
I know.
And you're the one with the helmet.
It's too hot. Pretty excited right now, Sean.
Did you push the lever?
I didn't push the lever. I wanted to so bad.
It. Just fiddled on the outside of it a little bit.
I'm excited because now I have tail whip room.
Leave a little coil around the middle.
That's wrong. Wrong tool.
Wait a minute.
I guess his brake lever will actually be tight.
See, I was waiting, dude. I'm like every time. You guys, so here's the long-standing joke.
Don't do that yet.
I won't squeeze it. But long-standing joke is I leave my brake levers so I can pull them up and down using my fingers. So I can, if my forearm in a wheelie is like maxed, I can press this down, rotate a little bit. Sean locks my brake levers.
I literally carry, since I usually work on his bikes, I know what size bolts these are, since this one is a 4. Now there will be a 4mm in my backpack. Usually I have a 3. And when we stop at rides, I sneak up and tighten his brake lever.
Every time.
This really doesn't need to be shortened all that much.
Oh, dude, that's perfect.
Or you just want me to leave it?
Yeah, leave it like that. Because then I can still
I mean, I'll fix that, like how this is hanging right now, but...
I'll just run it like that all the time, 24/7 like that. That's fine for me.
Okay. Because this way, I mean, going a little bit shorter, it might start to kink.
Yeah, I don't
when you tail whip. You know what I mean?
No, leave it like that. It's fine for me. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching the bike, the unboxing, the build, the ride, all of it. I still ride for Supercross. This is just a fun thing that they sent over. So look for, I'm not changing teams and nothing like that at all. Supercross is my home, so just want to put that out there. I think it's pretty obvious, but Torker is owned by Supercross. Bill had a frame. He was like, I think you're going to really enjoy this, so that's why I have this one-off Torker frame. So, all right, y'all. Tune in. We've got some exciting news coming up next. Stay tuned shortly because I've been hearing about an SX250 for the 35-year anniversary of Supercross. So stay tuned for that. Really excited about that. That's the Chromoly 6-bar, and I know nothing about them other than they're coming. So check it out. All right, boys, we are going to wrap up this Torker Freestylist build. I've built this up and I've swapped some things out. During the course of this video, you're going to see probably 3 different handlebars, different brake cables. I've just been tinkering with this thing, just having a great time, feeling what's going to be best for riding it all around wheelies and flatland. So I'm going to show you how we landed on this bike so far and where we're at, so I can just wrap this video and go, hey man, next time you see me, it'll probably be different than this. So let's take a look. So we've got the TNT M80s in the back, the Profile Elite disc hub. These are just some SE pegs. the Shimano 500, I believe it is, the disc brake. And this is a 160 millimeter rotor that I got off of Amazon. Just counted the bolts on the hub and bought it. Got some gold Evil alloy valve covers. On all my bikes I run the black and copper shadow chain. We've got the Ride Out Supply 36 tooth sprocket on some flights that are 175. The Evil alloy flat pedals, they'll spin forever. Supercross seat post clamp. This is I think it's a DK. Is it DK? No, Free Agent. Free Agent seat post. We've got the Carrera RS seat, the saddle. I painted it yellow like a year ago, and it's still holding up. Up in the front, we've got the Merit GFE pegs. I'm still running the Torker fork because I love the way it looks. Those welds are so rad. And it has 990s, and it's just fun to look at for me when I'm flat landing. I was considering putting the Supercross disc brake 29-inch fork on there. But man, I'm really loving looking at this, and this slipping a little bit just reminds me of the 80s. So I've got I think it's an ombre brake on there, front brake 990. This was on my flatland bike, my 20-inch. The clear cool stop pads. I've changed, most of this build that I've been riding had the carbon bars with the 31/8 stem. So because I'm running these, the Supercross 8-inch bars, the chromoly ones with the Amy Pro Tri lock-ons and the fluorescent yellow. But because I switched the bars, I don't have a stem yet from Evil Alloy, so I just threw an SE stem that I had. Still got the Supercross Pots Mod fork compression bolts on there, loving that. So love the way the bike looks. The purple brake cable will go, it'll be gold here as soon as I decide. I think I'm going to stick with the 990, so I'm going to actually just swap the brake cable to a permanent one. And that's pretty much everything for this bike. I've got a Supercross headset in there, a Speedline headset. Yeah, love this bike, you guys. Hope you enjoy the video. And you can find all this at torkerracing.com. This is a 29-inch Freestylist. I think there might be a couple left, maybe, but I'm sure they're going to restock in different sizes. So stay tuned to torkerracing.com. But hey, I'm still with Supercross. That's where my heart's at. But I wanted to show this thing off because it is a freestyle bike, and I've just really been getting into the flatland part of my riding lately because I'm really just having a good time doing it. So you'll still see wheelies, but you're going to start seeing a lot more freestyle too, because I love that stuff. So stay tuned, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you later.